Some interesting news here. We've got 34, guys. 34 wrecked Teslas out here in a lot. And that's as of this week. Some are wrecked pretty bad. Some aren't so bad. But we've got a bunch that have major rear end hits. I'm sure you've heard of the phantom braking sensation that these cars have been going through. You'd be going down the freeway 55, 60, 70 miles an hour, whatever it is. Next thing you know, your car slammed on the brakes automatically by itself, and there's nothing to warrant the cause of it slamming on the brakes all of a sudden. So next thing you know, you're trying to get your car to not go into a full braking mode. You got your foot underneath the brake pedal trying to pull it up from the floor. Of course, that won't do anything. People are complaining that all of a sudden it just slams on the brakes. Nothing, not even any kind of obstruction, a plastic bag, nothing is going and setting these off. It's just randomly being done as the car travels down the highway. So you tell me, what's the thing these days? Are we buying these expensive cars knowing that we're going to have problems with them and people are just okay with it? Is that the new gig these days? I mean, seriously? I mean, these aren't Hyundais and Kias, folks. These are expensive cars. And if you're buying these cars and putting full coverage on them, thinking that, well, hopefully in the next 2 or 3 years, they'll go and weed out the problems with these things. Well, what about the car that you have? Say that car's got problems from top to bottom, and they don't get them fixed, either by software or mechanical parts. Eventually, guys, you're going to buy these cars. You won't find an insurance company that will carry a policy on these cars anymore because they are prone accident causing vehicles. So what do we do then? What I think should happen is the NTSB should recall permitting for these vehicles on the road until further software refining or different type of hardware in the first place is invented for these cars. I mean, this is unbelievable, guys. What's the deal with all these cars? These cars, I mean, there's not a one in this lot. There's not even an older Model S. There's a perfect example of hitting the ass, phantom braking. I mean, there's not a car that's, gosh, it couldn't be any older than 2017. Could be the oldest car here. You guys, when are you going to wake up and see that there's an issue with these cars? I mean, you just keep buying them. Like I said, these are expensive. These aren't throwaway cars. Well, in my mind, they kind of are, but in a financial standpoint, can't be affording to throw these cars away. It's funny, this shop here in Oregon has made I mean, they have got their foot into gold right now, through and through, making a profit fixing these cars. What happens when people wise up and they quit buying them? What in the hell is that? Look at that. Call that a spare tire? See, this one's pretty bad. Look at that. Check out the camber on that son of a gun. I don't know about these cars. I don't know if it's the people that are driving them. They're just that stupid in the first place that buy these cars. Well, maybe it's a little bit of both. Maybe it's the car and the driver. It's funny because the first word of someone else's mouth, when you start talking about Teslas, is politics. That's the first thing they could jump to. Strike up a random conversation about Teslas to anybody in public place. the first thing they think about is Biden and all the bullshit. These Tesla cars saving the world. One dented fascia and one rear end job at a time. Let's go down to the Porsche dealership, guys. Let's go around the back lot. Let's see how many wrecked 911s, Boxers, Cayennes. We'll see what they've got wrecked back there. I bet they haven't got 34 cars. Take a look over there. There's 6 more sitting there. Maybe they ran out of space. Anyways, back to the Porsche dealership. Let's go down to the Porsche dealership and let's look behind there and see how many rear end jobs, side jobs, front end jobs they have. Be a pretty hard thing to find, I imagine. You tell me how many wrecked expensive sport cars there would be sitting behind a Porsche dealership or a Mercedes dealership like this. Not very many. Maybe 1 or 2. This is ridiculous, guys. Wake up and smell the coffee. Quit buying these cars, quit screwing around. Quit patronizing these cars and talking them up. This isn't a coincidence. 34 of them out here this week. And there's at least a dozen in the shop being worked on right now. Just think about it. Let it sit in for a little while.